Hey Facebook and YouTube, my name is Jeff. I'm the first counselor of the Setting Order Ministries, and this is section 132, part 8. And we left off on verse 55. But if she will not abide this commandment, then shall my servant Joseph do all things for her, even as he hath said, I will bless him and multiply him, and give unto him 100-fold in this world of fathers and mothers, brothers and sisters, house and lands, wives, children, and crowns of eternal lives in the eternal worlds. So basically God's telling Joseph to do everything he can for her, because God apparently knew that Emma was going to leave, so he basically told Joseph to stick it out and just do what you can for her, and that's what happened. So now we're going to move on to 56. And again, verily I say, let mine handmaid forgive my servant Joseph his trespasses, and then shall she be forgiven her trespasses, wherein she has trespassed against me. And I, the Lord the God, will bless her and multiply her and make her heart to rejoice. So we're all human. We all have frailties. Joseph Smith was not a perfect man. He had trespasses. God's basically saying that if you make it right with Emma, your trespasses will be forgiven. And if Emma makes it right with Joseph, then her trespasses will be forgiven. If Joseph Smith makes his trespasses right with God, then they'll be forgiven. If Emma makes her trespasses right, then she'll be forgiven of. Okay, now we're going to move on to 56. And again, verily I say, let my handmaid forgive my servant. Oh wait, no, I already read that. So 57. And again I say, let not my servant Joseph put his property out of his hands, lest an enemy come and destroy him. For Satan seeketh to destroy, for I am the Lord thy God, and he is my servant. And behold, and lo, I am with him as I was with Abraham thy father, even unto his exaltation and glory. So it's talking about Satan coming after and destroying things and messing stuff up, and telling Joseph to he's telling Joseph Smith to put his property out of his hands, to put his property in the Lord's hands, so that Satan will be bound, won't be able to do much. So now we'll move on to 58. Now as touching the law of the priesthood, there are many things pertaining thereunto. 59. Verily, if a man be called of my father, as was Abraham, by mine own voice, and by the voice of him that sent him, and I have endowed him with the keys of the power of this priesthood, if he do anything in my name, and according to my law, and by my word, and he will not commit sin, and I will justify him. So as long as the key holder is doing everything right and living the laws of God, he won't commit sin, and the Lord will justify him. Okay, now we read 60. Let no one therefore set on my servant Joseph, for I will justify him, for he shall do the sacrifice which I require at his hand. For his transgression, saith the Lord your God. Okay, we'll move on. 61. And again, as pertaining to the law of the priesthood, if any man espouse a virgin and desire to espouse another, and the first gave her consent, and if he espouse the second, and they are virgins, and have vowed to no other man, then he is justified. He cannot commit adultery, for they are given unto him, for he cannot commit adultery with that they belong unto him, and to none else. So people who say that polygamy is adultery, it's not adultery, because God gives the women to the man. If they're virgins, vowed to no other men, So virgins are vowed out to no other men. It's talking about like younger girls that haven't been married yet or haven't been with a man yet. That if a man wants to take on women, he can. He can live polygamy, and it's not considered adultery because they were given to him. 62 says, and if he have 10 virgins given unto him by this law, he cannot commit adultery, for they belong to him, and they were given unto him, therefore he is justified. So 10 virgins. So if a man found 10 virgins, and they're given to him by God, so just like Joseph Smith, his virgins were with other men. They're still technically a virgin because even though they got married and they were with that guy doing stuff with those men, it was the wrong guy. So they're still technically virgins because they didn't marry their husband, the one that they belong with. So you're justified. You can have 10 virgins as long as they're your wives and you got a revelation from God that they're yours, then you can obtain them if you need to. Okay, 63. But if one or neither of the 10 virgins after she is espoused shall be with another man, she has committed adultery and shall be destroyed, for they are given unto him to multiply and replenish the earth, according to my commandments, and to fulfill the promise which was given by my fathers before the foundation of the world, and for their exaltation in the eternal worlds, that they may bear the souls of men. For herein is the work of my Father continued, that he may be glorified. So it's talking about, but if one or the other of the 10 virgins after she is espoused shall be with another man, she has committed adultery. So it's talking about your wives. If you're living in a polygamous family, a relationship that way, and if one of the women goes off to another man, that's adultery, and she'll be destroyed. Okay, moving on to 64. And again, verily, verily, I say unto you, if any man have a wife who holds the keys of this priesthood, and he teaches unto her the law of my priesthood as pertaining to these things, then shall she believe and administer unto him, or she shall be destroyed, saith the Lord your God. For I will destroy her, for I will magnify my name upon all those who receive and abide in my law. If a man have a wife who holds the keys of this power, so women can't hold the priesthood. The priesthood is not actually given to them. They hold it through their husband. So when a woman gets married, she gets the power of the priesthood with her husband. Her husband holds it, and she holds it with her husband. Move on to 65. Therefore it shall be lawful in me, if she receive not this law, for him to receive all things whatsoever I the Lord his God will give unto him, because she did not believe and administer unto him according to my word, and she then becomes the transgressor, and he is exempt from the law of Sarah, who administered unto Abraham according to the law, when I commanded Abraham to take Hagar to wife. So it's talking about if a guy gets married to a woman and then he wants to take on another one, and if that woman doesn't want to live the law, she's exempt from it, from the law of Sarah. She's exempt from it. So she basically denied